Racist cop challenges black judge, the verdict will shock you. You won't believe what happened in this courtroom. This is a story about power, arrogance, and the moment when truth cannot be ignored. It all started on a quiet Monday morning in a small-town courthouse. The air in the courtroom felt heavy, the kind of heaviness that lingers when justice has been delayed for too long. Judge Malcolm Wright sat tall in his chair, his black robe flowing over his broad shoulders. He was a man of wisdom, patience, and deep conviction. His journey to the bench had been anything but easy. He had faced racism, doubt, and endless obstacles, but he never backed down. He believed in the law, and more importantly, he believed in justice. But today, he knew he was about to face something different. The defendant sitting before him was Officer Daniel Carter. A white police officer with nearly 15 years on the force. His record wasn't clean, but it wasn't dirty enough for the department to take action, at least, not until now. Carter had been accused of unlawful arrest, excessive force, and racial profiling. His victim? A young black man named Jamal Parker, a college student who had never been in trouble a day in his life. Jamal had been driving home after his shift at a local diner when Carter pulled him over. The reason? Suspicious behavior. No broken taillight. No speeding. No crime. Just a young black man driving through the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time. Jamal did everything right. He kept his hands on the wheel. He spoke politely. He followed every order. But it didn't matter. Carter yanked him from the car, threw him against the hood, and handcuffed him as if he were a dangerous criminal. The entire incident was recorded on Jamal's phone, which had slipped onto the passenger seat and kept filming. Now, that video was about to play in court. As the prosecution prepared the footage, Carter sat back in his chair, arms crossed, an amused smirk on his face. It was clear he didn't take this seriously. Judge Wright studied him carefully. He had seen men like Carter before, officers who thought their badge made them untouchable, who thought the law bent to their will instead of the other way around. But what Carter failed to realize was that today, in this courtroom, he wasn't the one in control. The prosecutor pressed play. A tense silence filled the room as the video began. The courtroom watched as Carter's patrol car pulled up behind Jamal's vehicle. They heard Carter's voice barking orders, his tone laced with aggression. Jamal's voice was calm, respectful. "Sir, did I do something wrong? You think you can talk back to me, boy?" Carter's voice echoed through the speakers. A sharp gasp came from the gallery. Jamal's mother, sitting in the back row, clenched her hands together, holding back tears. The video showed Carter yanking open the car door and dragging Jamal out with unnecessary force. Jamal didn't resist. He didn't fight back. He didn't even raise his voice. And yet, Carter slammed him against the hood of the car, twisted his arms behind his back, and cuffed him like he was some violent felon. "Stop moving." Carter barked, though Jamal wasn't moving at all. The courtroom was frozen in shock. The video ended with Carter throwing Jamal into the back seat of the patrol car, slamming the door, and muttering something under his breath, something that, even with the grainy audio, was clear enough for everyone to hear. Another thug off the streets. Silence. Judge Wright let the weight of the evidence settle over the room before he spoke. "Officer Carter," he said, his voice steady but filled with a quiet storm. "Do you have anything to say for yourself?" Carter chuckled and leaned back, shrugging. "I was doing my job. That kid was acting suspicious. I did what I had to do." Judge Wright removed his glasses and set them down on the desk in front of him. He stared at Carter for a long time, as if searching for something, some sign of remorse, some glimmer of humanity. But there was nothing. Just arrogance. "Let me be clear," the judge said, his voice now sharp and firm. "What I witnessed in that video was not the work of an officer upholding the law. It was the work of a man abusing his power, humiliating an innocent young man, and doing so without a shred of regret." Carter's smirk twitched, but he still held on to his arrogance. Do you know what I see when I look at you, Officer Carter? Judge Wright continued. I see a man who believes he is above the law. I see a man who took an oath to serve and protect but instead chose to discriminate and harm. And worst of all, I see a man who doesn't even understand the gravity of what he has done. For the first time, Carter's expression changed. The judge's voice grew heavier with emotion. For centuries, men like you have abused men like me. You wear that badge as if it makes you untouchable, but today, I remind you of something: the law does not belong to you. Justice does not belong to you. And today, justice will be served. The courtroom was dead silent. Every eye was on Judge Wright. I find you guilty on all charges, he declared. You will face the maximum penalties under the law. And you will no longer wear a badge. The gavel slammed down. A collective breath of relief swept through the room. Jamal's mother wept softly, her hands shaking as she covered her mouth. Jamal blinked rapidly, his emotions overwhelming him. He had been afraid this day would end like so many others, with injustice. But today was different. Carter, now pale, stood there in stunned silence. His power was gone. His arrogance had been stripped away. And for the first time, he realized, there was no escaping this. As the bailiff approached to take Carter into custody, Judge Wright sat back in his chair, exhaled deeply, and looked around the room. Because the fight wasn't over. The work wasn't done. But for one young black man, for one family who had nearly lost hope, justice had finally won. Hello, amazing viewer. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more awesome content, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Let me know what you think. And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, please share it with your friends and family. Your support means the world to me and helps this channel grow. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.